subsequently, she was allowed to withdraw. So I don't know that I need to see any of those emails. I will deny the request for an indigency hearing because I agree that you were represented at that time. Even without being represented, you reached an agreement, and the basis of Judge Mangram's order, which ordered you to jail and then suspended that order, is also based on your agreement, which you and Ms. Oren announced in open court before Judge Mangrum.
I object, Your Honor. I did not agree.
Mr. Gwynn, it's okay if you object, but you just wait to urge it until I am finished. You do not get permission to talk when I'm talking. I get to interrupt you. I get to interrupt Mr. Powers. That is the prerogative of my office. You, however, nor does Mr. Powers, however, have the right to interrupt me. And if you do it one more time, it's going to delay the process. And none of us wants that. So stop, please, interrupting me. It'll prolong our time together. Be patient. I'll let you say your piece, I promise. I'm just where I'm coming from so that you can react to what I'm saying.
Yes, Your Honor.
But I can't say it unless you give me an opportunity to do so. So for those reasons, which is what I'm trying to articulate, I do not believe you are entitled to yet another opportunity to attack collaterally the prior order, and the suspension and the now request to revoke it will proceed at this time. Now, I appreciate that Mr. Gwynn objects to that. His objection to that is noted. Now that we have completed the process of opening statements, we'll move to evidence. As I indicated earlier, Mr. Powers will present his evidence first, and then Mr. Gwynn will have an opportunity to present his evidence, at which time I will make a decision. Mr. Powers, you may call your first witness.
Your Honor, I will ask the court to recall the testimony of Ms. Warren, who's already testified when this case was recessed, that she's received no payments from Mr. Gwynn since January 2022.
I recall that testimony. You asked her one question. She answered it. That was the gist of the testimony, and then she was excused, and then you and Mr. Gwynn and I talked about reset dates and so forth. I recall it. What else?
Thank you, Kathy.
I need to call myself as a witness on attorney's fees.
Raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you will give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
State your name.
My name is William Powers. I'm an attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Texas. I've been licensed since 1976. I've been board certified in family law since 1988. I'm familiar with the fees charged in Central Texas by attorneys of
with you on that day. Subsequently, she
were $1,937.
Oops.
And since that time, in the amount, total amount of $4,575.42.
Just to be clear, when you say July 6th in order by Judge Harvey, you mean July 6, 2022? Since July 6, 2022, you have incurred $4,575.42 in attorney's fees. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. And those fees is
and have those fees been paid by your client?
They have not.
All right, go ahead.
I believe those fees were necessary and reasonable given the circumstances of this case. It's been very difficult to get Mr. Gwynn in front of a court. It's been very difficult to proceed forward in this case, and we've had since that July hearing. I can't, and by the way, we're including today's hearing as part of that.
No, it's not.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're not including today's hearing as part of that. So there would be another $550 for today's hour before the court. And based upon the dockets that you previously read in, I think the court can understand
Gwen, now it's your opportunity to ask Mr. Powers any questions regarding the attorney fees that he's testified to this morning. You may proceed.
Your Honor, we all wish to remain in voluntary compliance with the IRS.
I'm sorry, do you have any questions for Mr. Powers regarding his attorney's fees request?
Yes, I'd like to know if we all remain in voluntary compliance with the IRS. Mr. Powers?
I will object to the relevance of the question.
I don't understand the question, first of all, but I also don't know why whether or not you or he are in compliance with the IRS is relevant to whether or not I should allow him or should award him his client attorney's fees for the work done on the case. So I'll sustain the relevance objection.
Because I'd like to know whose name goes on.
I'm just asking if you have any questions for him regarding the attorney's fees he's requesting today.
Whose name goes on the FinCEN 8300?
I don't know what that is either, and I don't know why it's related to whether or not he's going to get some attorney's fees. So if you have questions about whether or not he should be awarded some attorney's fees, you may ask him that question. I'm going to assume you don't want me to give him any attorney's fees, so I appreciate the position.
No, I don't. And
Okay.
Here's the Trezevant versus Tampa is billable at $3,000 per minute for renting my natural son, as well as time and commodity for total.
Okay, ask you one more time. You will, let me tell you a couple of things first. One, you will be allowed to provide your own testimony when it's your turn. So if you want to tell me your side of the story, make whatever request you want to make. You may do that when it's your turn to testify. But right now, it's not your turn to testify. Right now, all we're doing in this very limited part of our proceeding is giving you the opportunity to ask Mr. Powers questions about his request for attorney's fees. That's it. And when we're done with that, we'll move on. But right now, we're just limiting your questions to his request for attorney's fees only, nothing else. So if you have a question about that, please ask that question.
Okay, I do have a question about that, because if he's wanting to bill me, is he gonna get my bill too? I have a bill as well.
If that is not a question about his attorney's fees. That's a question about your request. That's not what we're doing right now. So if you have a question about his request, what is your question?
The IRS handles issues of billing, and so I just want to know, do I put his name on the IRS documents that I submit for his billing?
That is not a question related to his request for attorney's fees. He wants me to order you to pay him. That's the only thing on the table right now. Do you have a question for him about that?
I do not consent to.
I appreciate that you want me not to give it to him. I get that. The question is, do you have any questions for him about it?
Ma'am, I just want to make sure we all remain in compliance with the IRS, and
I'm going to assume by your statement that you don't have a question for him about his attorney's fees. I, however, do. So I will ask it at this time, and then I'll give you a chance to follow up if you can think of a question. Mr. Powers, with regard to the order from Judge Harger awarding the $1,937, I take it that was for work through July 6th of this year? Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. The original.
Has that amount been paid?
No.
Okay. All right. And was there, excuse me. So, no, I just have some very specific and limited questions for both of you. And I would appreciate if you both just answer the specific questions I'm asking.
Yes,
was there a date certain in the Harger order on which Mr. Gwynn was ordered to remit to you that $1,937 amount?
Yeah.
I believe so, Your Honor. We're going to pull up the order for the court. We'll ask you to take judicial notice of your court file.
I just want to know when he was ordered to pay, by what date he was ordered to pay it. It's through July 6, 2022.
This was through April 6th.
I'm sorry. We've been so many hearings, I get a little confused. This was through April the 7th of 2022.
Not July.
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
So in April of 2022, Judge Harger ordered this $1,900 amount, roughly. It has not yet been paid, and it was supposed to be paid by May 2022. Is that right?
May 6, 2022. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. That's my question. Now, I've asked a couple questions, Mr. Gwynn, so I'm going to give you one more opportunity to ask a relevant question about the issue of attorney's fees that Mr. Powers is requesting, if you have one, about that. And if you do, you may ask it now.
Your Honor, IRS handles those kinds of issues, but, you know, earlier, Mr. Powers said that there was a $6,000. If you note in the beginning of this hearing, he said there was a $6,000 fee that he had, and you know, it's changing, and it constantly changes, and this is what Mr. Powers just constantly has been bearing.
Okay, so that's not a question, it's a statement. You will be allowed to make statements both in closing argument and when it's your turn to testify. I simply want to know if you have a question that you want to answer. What is the question you want to ask him about his request for attorney's fees as testified to this morning?
I definitely want a detail. I would like a accounting of it all.
Ask him a question, Mr. Gwynn. Make a statement. Ask him a question.
I would like to request a detailed accounting of everything that he claims that I owe, and I would also like proof of this detailed accounting of what I owe, and I will take it under consideration. But I need to see proof. Where does he get these numbers from? Because they constantly grow, and it's like the $125,000 that he claims that I owe. Where's the proof of that? How do I owe that much, and why?
Do you have any other questions that you wish to ask Mr. Powers?
And my other question is, when will I get that?
Any other question you want to ask him?
If he can just answer that for us.
He's not required to give you what you've asked for today, and that is beyond the scope of what you're allowed to ask him questions about today. With regard to the $125,000, I will construe your question about the accounting of his attorney's fees, and I will ask Mr. Powers to answer a question about whether or not he has detailed records with regard to the attorney's fees he's requesting today. Mr. Powers, what is your answer to that question?
And Your Honor, I accept that.
Hang on a minute. Let's let him answer that question first, and then you can ask another one. Mr. Powers?
Your Honor, I keep contemporaneous billing on a tenth by tenths of an hour, and so there is, in fact, detailed billing of that. I will show the court petitioner's number 23.
You have permission to share your screen.